My dear friends, look at me. I want to ask you something, and I want you to be completely honest with yourself right now. When was the last time your emotions absolutely hijacked your day? Really think about it. Maybe it was anger that consumed you this morning over something small. Maybe it was anxiety that kept you awake last night, your mind running through scenarios that haven't even happened yet. Show of hands. How many of you know exactly what I'm talking about? Yes, I see you. I know this struggle intimately because I've lived it myself. Listen to me carefully now. Your emotions are not your enemy. Let me say that again. Your emotions are not your enemy. They're not something to be crushed or denied or suppressed. But here's what I learned after decades sitting in the monastery working with my own mind. We've become complete slaves to our feelings. We let them drive the car while we sit helplessly in the back seat, watching our lives unfold in ways we never intended. Do you see what I'm saying? The Buddha taught us about dukkha, this pervasive unsatisfactoriness that colors everything we experience. And you know what feeds it? Our complete inability to separate what we feel from what we are. When anger rises, you don't say, anger is present. No, you say, I am angry. When sadness comes, you don't say, sadness has arrived. You say, I am sad. No, no, no. You are not your emotions. You are the vast sky, and emotions are simply weather patterns moving through. Let me tell you something that completely changed my life. The moment you believe your emotions are facts, you've lost the game. Your anxiety tells you the presentation will be a disaster. Is that actually true? Your anger tells you that person deliberately tried to hurt you. Do you really know their intention? Your sadness whispers you'll always feel this way. Has any feeling in your entire life ever been permanent? Here's your first assignment, and I want you to really do this. Think about the last time you made an important decision while you were emotional. Really sit with that memory. How did it turn out? I'm not judging you. I've sent emails in anger I desperately wish I could take back. But this is where our work begins, recognizing that you are not your emotions. They arise, they peak, they pass. Always, every single time. Look at me, everyone. Right here, right now, I'm going to teach you the most powerful tool I've ever learned in my entire life. It's called sati in the ancient language, mindful awareness. And I promise you, if you let this teaching in, it will change absolutely everything for you. Close your eyes with me for just a moment. Imagine you're standing by a river on a beautiful autumn day. You're watching leaves float by on the current. Some leaves are golden, perfect, beautiful. Others are broken, torn, decayed. But here's the key. You don't jump into the river to grab the beautiful ones, do you? You don't leap in to push away the ugly ones. You just watch, you observe, you let them pass. Open your eyes. This is exactly what we must learn to do with our emotions. We become the witness, the observer. And listen, I'm not talking about being cold or detached or robotic. I'm talking about being present and aware. When anger rises, you notice, anger is here right now. When anxiety creeps in, you acknowledge, anxiety has arrived as a visitor. Do you hear the difference in that language? You're not saying, I am angry. You're noticing that anger is present like a guest passing through your home. Let me tell you about a woman who came to see me last year. She was completely overwhelmed. Every single day was chaos for her. She'd wake up anxious, spend her entire day reactive and scattered, go to bed exhausted. Tenzin, she said to me, I can't control my mind anymore. I looked at her and said, good, stop trying to control it. Just watch it instead. I gave her one assignment for 2 weeks, just one, notice, that's all. When emotions came, and they would come, just notice them, name them if possible. Fear is here, frustration is present, joy has arrived, no judgment, no trying to fix or change anything, just watching like those leaves on the river. You know what happened? She called me 2 weeks later, and I could hear it in her voice. Tenzin, she said, the emotions haven't stopped coming, but I'm not drowning anymore. Exactly. The emotions keep coming. They always will. Life keeps happening. But when you're the witness standing on the bank instead of being swept downstream, everything changes. Here's what I want you to do starting today. Set 3 alarms on your phone, random times. When they go off, pause whatever you're doing. Take one conscious breath. Ask yourself, what emotion is present in me right now? Just notice. Don't fix it. Don't judge it. Just see it clearly. My friends, stay with me here because what I'm about to teach you is absolutely crucial. The Buddha said something that transformed my entire life. He said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our freedom and our power. Let me say that again because this is so important. In that space lies our freedom. Think about this with me right now. Someone cuts you off in traffic. What happens instantly? Rage, right? Your heart starts pounding. Your hands grip the wheel. Words come flying out of your mouth. Your boss criticizes your work. Immediate defensiveness rises up. Your partner says something thoughtless. Boom, you're hurt and angry before you even realize it. The stimulus and response feel like one thing, don't they? They feel instantaneous, automatic, completely inevitable. But here's what I discovered after years and years of practice. They're not one thing. There's a gap between them. It's tiny, maybe a fraction of a second, but it's there. And in that gap, my dear friends, that's where wisdom lives. That's where choice lives. That's where your freedom lives. Can you hear what I'm saying? Most people go their entire lives never even noticing this gap exists. They're like machines. Button pushed, reaction happens. Button pushed, reaction happens. Over and over, year after year. Is this not true? Be honest with yourself right now. How many times have you reacted to something and then immediately thought, why did I say that? Why did I do that? It's because you missed the gap. Let me tell you about a moment in my own life. Years ago, another monk said something in front of our entire community that humiliated me. I felt the fire rising in my chest. My face got hot. My hands automatically formed into fists. And in that moment, decades of practice kicked in. I took one breath, just one conscious breath, and I found the gap in that space, that tiny space. I could suddenly see clearly. He wasn't attacking me. He was suffering. His words were coming from his own pain, not from any truth about me. And instead of responding with anger, I responded with compassion. Do you see what happened? The gap gave me choice. Here's your practice. When something triggers you, and you'll know because you'll feel it in your body first. Don't react. Stop. Breathe. One conscious breath where you're fully present. Find the gap. That's where your power is. Everyone, close your eyes with me again. No, really, do it right now. I want you to bring to mind the last time you felt truly anxious. Really remember that moment. Now tell me, where did you feel it in your body? Was it your chest getting tight, your stomach knotting up, your throat closing, your hands getting sweaty? Open your eyes and look at me. Here's something most people never realize, and this is going to change how you work with emotions forever. Your body knows you're emotional before your mind does. Let that sink in for a moment. The physical sensations always come first, always. The tightness, the heat, the tension, the racing heart. These arrive before the thoughts, before you can even name what you're feeling, before your mind starts spinning its stories. This is crucial, my friends. This is the early warning system you've been ignoring your whole life. Your body is literally shouting at you, hey, pay attention, something's happening here. And what do most of us do? We ignore it, we override it, we push through. We take another coffee, pop another antacid, tell ourselves we're fine. And then we wonder why we explode at our kids, why we shut down with our partners, why we can't think clearly when we need to most. I learned this the hard way, and I want to save you years of struggle. For my first decade in the monastery, I thought emotional mastery meant transcending the body, rising above it, conquering these physical reactions. I was so wrong. The body isn't something to transcend. It's your most honest teacher. It never, ever lies to you. Let me tell you what I want you to start doing today. Become a detective of your own body. When your chest gets tight, pause and notice it. When your jaw clenches, actually feel it. When your stomach knots up, acknowledge it. Don't just push through. These are your emotions arriving before they completely take over your mind, and this is when you have the most power to work with them. Here's what's beautiful. When you catch emotions at the body level, the thoughts haven't spiraled yet, the stories haven't started, the catastrophizing hasn't begun. You're at the very beginning of the emotional wave, and that's when you can ride it instead of being crushed by it. Try this right now with me. Scan your body. Start at the top of your head and slowly move down. Really do it. Where are you holding tension? Your shoulders up by your ears, your lower back tight. What's that telling you? Listen to your body. It's trying to help you. Look at me, everyone. I need you to understand something fundamental about how suffering actually works. Your emotions don't exist in a vacuum. They're not random. They're fed constantly by the stories you tell yourself. And here's the hard truth. Most of these stories are complete fiction. Listen carefully, because this is so important. Something happens. Let's say your friend doesn't text you back for a few hours. That's just a fact, a neutral event, one simple piece of data. But watch what your mind does with it. Just watch. She's mad at me. I must have said something wrong. She doesn't value our friendship. Nobody really cares about me. I'm always alone. Do you see what just happened? You went from one neutral fact to a whole narrative about your worthlessness in about 10 seconds flat. The Buddha called this tanha, this craving, this clinging, this constant storytelling our minds do. We take neutral events and we wrap them in meaning. We interpret, we assume, we fill in blanks. We create entire movies in our heads, and then, and this is the crazy part, we react emotionally to movies that don't even exist. We suffer over stories we made up. I'm going to share something vulnerable with you because I want you to know I still struggle with this too. Last year, my teacher didn't respond to an email I sent him. For 3 days, 3 entire days, I tortured myself. He's disappointed in my teaching. He thinks I'm not honoring the tradition properly. I've failed him as a student. I created this whole elaborate story about his disappointment. 3 days of real suffering, my friends. You know what the actual truth was? His email system was down. That's it. Technical problem. All that suffering over a story I completely made up. This is what we do. Constantly, every single day. Someone looks at us wrong. We make up a story about what they're thinking. We don't get the promotion. We make up a story about our worth. Our partner seems distant. We make up a story about the relationship ending. And these stories generate real emotions, genuine suffering over things that aren't even true. Here's your practice, and I want you to actually do this. Start catching your interpretations. When you feel a strong emotion rising, pause. Ask yourself honestly, what story am I telling myself right now? Write it down if you need to. Get it out of your head. Then ask, is this actually true? Do I know this for certain? What else could be true? I promise you, and I don't make promises lightly, when you start questioning your stories, the emotional charge starts to dissolve, not because you're suppressing anything, but because you're finally seeing clearly. My dear friends, let me teach you about Khanti, patience, restraint, the sacred ability to pause. And listen to me carefully. This is not passive. This is not weakness. This is not avoidance. This is the most powerful thing you can possibly learn in this life. You know what most people do when emotions hit hard? They react immediately. They say the thing, they send the email, they make the decision, they quit the job, they end the relationship, all while the emotional storm is raging at full force inside them. And then what happens? The storm passes, and it always passes, and they're left with regret. Why did I do that? What was I thinking? You know what? You weren't thinking. That's exactly the point. You were reacting. Let me tell you about something that happened to me during a particularly difficult winter at the monastery. I was angry, deeply, righteously angry, at another monk. Every single day I wanted to confront him. Every day the words were ready, burning in my throat. But my teacher kept telling me the same thing. Wait, just wait. I thought he was telling me to suppress my feelings. I thought he was asking me to pretend everything was fine. He wasn't. He was teaching me that wisdom requires time to emerge. So I waited. And while I waited, something extraordinary happened. The anger began to reveal what was actually beneath it: hurt, fear, deep insecurity. The anger was just the surface, the protective layer. And as I sat with it, as I gave it time and space, I began to see the entire situation differently. I began to see him differently. By the time I finally spoke to him weeks later, it wasn't confrontation. It was connection. It was healing. This is what the pause gives you, my friends. Time for the fog to clear. Time for wisdom to emerge from beneath the noise. Time to access the part of you that isn't ruled by emotion. Do you see what I'm saying? Can you feel how powerful this is? Here's what I want you to commit to right now. Create a rule for yourself. When you're emotional, really emotional, you don't make big decisions. Period. You don't quit. You don't end things. You don't send that message. You wait. 24 hours minimum. 48 is better. A week if it's really important. I know what some of you are thinking. But Tenzin, what if I need to respond? What if it's urgent? My friend, let me be honest with you. Very few things are actually urgent. Most things that feel urgent are just your emotion demanding immediate resolution. True emergencies? Yes, respond. But examine honestly. Is this really an emergency, or is this discomfort trying to get you to act? Build yourself a sanctuary in the pause. Train yourself to wait. Watch how much suffering you avoid. Everyone, stay with me here, because this is where everything we've been working on comes together. You've learned to witness your emotions. You've learned to find the gap. You've learned to pause. Now I'm going to show you what's waiting on the other side of all this practice: clarity. True, deep, unmovable clarity. There's a beautiful Zen concept called Shibumi. It means simple, subtle perfection. It's what happens when you finally stop trying so hard, when you stop forcing, when you step back and allow wisdom to emerge naturally, like spring water from the ground. This is what clear thinking actually feels like. Not cold, not emotionless, not detached, but clear, like looking through perfectly clean water all the way to the bottom. Let me tell you something I've witnessed hundreds of times over the years. Someone comes to me with a problem. They're upset, confused, completely lost about what to do. They're convinced they need my advice, my wisdom, my answers. We sit together, we breathe, we create space, and you know what happens within 15-20 minutes? They look at me and say, "Actually, I think I know what to do." The wisdom was already there. The answer was already inside them. The emotion was just clouding it like mud stirred up in clear water. This is what I desperately need you to understand. You already have everything you need to make good decisions. The wisdom is in you right now. It's always been there. You were born with it. But emotion is like mud in water. When you're stirred up, you can't see anything clearly. When you let the mud settle, when you get still, the water becomes clear again. You can see all the way to the bottom. You can see the truth. Here's your practice for accessing this clarity, and I use this myself before every important decision. Get quiet. Sit down. Close your eyes. Take 10 breaths, just 10, that's all I'm asking. Feel your body begin to settle. Feel your mind begin to settle. Then ask yourself the question you're facing. And here's the key, listen. Don't listen to the loudest voice. Don't listen to the most emotional voice. Don't listen to the fearful voice or the angry voice. Listen for the quiet knowing underneath all of that. I do this before every teaching I give, before difficult conversations, before life decisions. 10 breaths, settle, listen. And what emerges is always, always wiser than what my reactive mind would have chosen. You have this capacity inside you, my friends. You've always had it. You just have to learn how to access it again, like remembering a skill you had as a child. The clarity is there, waiting, under the storm. My dear friends, we've come to the heart of everything, all of it. The witnessing, the gap, the pause, the clarity, all of it leads right here to this. Living from your center, making peace your home, not just somewhere you visit occasionally when life is good. Listen to me carefully and don't misunderstand what I'm saying. This is not about never feeling emotions. I still feel anger, I still feel sadness, fear, joy, frustration, all of it. I'm human, you're human. The emotions come, they will always come. Life will make sure of that. But here's what's different now. They don't knock me over anymore. They don't drag me away from myself. They don't run my life. I feel them, I acknowledge them. And I remain centered. I remain here, home in myself. Think of it like this. Imagine you're a mountain, strong, solid, rooted deep in the earth. Storms come, fierce storms with thunder and lightning and howling wind that would terrify you if you were in the valley. Do these storms move the mountain? No, the mountain feels the storm. The rain falls on it. The wind blows across it. The storm is completely real, but the mountain remains exactly where it is. This is what I'm teaching you to become. After decades of practice, here's what I know for certain. Peace isn't something you achieve one day and then you have it forever. It's not a destination you arrive at. It's something you return to, again and again and again, thousands of times. You'll get pulled away, life will pull you away, emotions will pull you away. That's completely okay. That's part of being human. The practice is the returning, coming back to center, coming back home to yourself. Let me tell you what this actually looks like in my daily life. I still have days where I wake up anxious, still have moments where anger flares hot in my chest, still have times when deep sadness visits me like an old friend. But now, I don't fight it anymore. I don't pretend it's not there. I don't let it run my entire life. I acknowledge it clearly. Anxiety is here today. Hello, old friend, I see you. And then I return to my breath, return to my center, return to what's true beneath all the weather. Here's what I want for you. And really, this is my deepest, most sincere wish for every one of you. I want you to know yourself so well that nothing can completely take you away from yourself anymore. I want you to have such a strong relationship with your center that no matter what storm comes, you know exactly how to find your way back home. Start today, right now, this very moment. Feel where you are. Feel your breath moving in and out. Feel your body sitting here. This is your center, this moment, right here. You are whole, you are enough. Go in peace, my friends.